Hello friends, welcome to the Reset Girl junk journal with me. I am working in my junk journal for this summer, and that is an EK Success heavy duty binder punch, so it punches the holes the same circumference as the binder mechanism. That's Maggie Holmes Flourish paper, and I've sewn with some ombre pink thread the crochet lace there. I'm going to use this American Crafts red super sticky tape to adhere a pocket. So the Maggie Holmes Flourish paper, that floral paper, is going to create a pocket on that crepe paper Oasis background paper. The back of the crepe paper Oasis paper is the bathing suit pattern, so I'm sure you guys have seen that. I'm going to adhere lots of the red line sticky tape just so I'm sure that that pocket is not going to come off. And I can use the back of that tab to start my journaling for this section, sort of. I'll just label that, use the back of that tab and label it. So now I'm using a palette knife to remove the red liner from that red line sticky tape. And I'm just making sure that I have it lined up. So I will remove some of the red line and then place my paper down, because that ensures that it's not crooked. So at least I know that that portion, it's easier to get a small portion lined up than it is the whole thing. So I like to just remove the red line after I've got everything lined up. So there it is. I have a pocket, and this left side will house, there's the backing of that bathing suit crepe paper Oasis paper, and the adventure log on the right, that white notebook looking sheet, that is also crepe paper Oasis, and I've already off camera I stitched the fabric tab to that. So I'm just turning it over and cutting the side of that pocket so it's flush with the background paper, and it's easier to do from the back side. So I really have been watching all the junk journal videos. I learned quite a bit from Amity Bloom. If you follow her, I'll put her in the description box below. And also Pink Paper Peppermints. She's the one that inspired me to use the ombre pink thread. So there's that crochet lace. And then I'm going to add some things to the pocket and show you that yes, this is indeed a working pocket. But also I need to get an idea of what I want to put in the pocket. So these are ephemera pieces. These are vintage looking pieces from the kit from the Reset Girl. It's called Wanna Craft. If you want to pick up that kit, I'll put a link in the description box below. So I have a library card there. I definitely know I want to add that to the pocket. And I have a lot of the ephemera there, and I'm thinking about adding this library card as a way to list all of the antiques. This couple set of pages is going to be about our antique and vintage market shopping that I did with my mom. And here I am folding up that little, it looks like a sewing tape measure, the kind that is bendable, and I'm flipping. You can see the back of that crepe paper Oasis paper, and then I decide that I want to tuck everything that's going to be on the left page, I want to tuck it in the pocket. And I want to add this. This is the Reset Girl Wanna Craft Snippets printables, and so I'm going to cut out this Instax looking Polaroid style cut apart, and that will go at the juncture between the pocket and the background, there where everything is tucked in the pocket, just to keep 3 areas of the embellishments. So I have the fabric tab, the coat check label and flashcard at the top right, and then this area on the left with everything on the pocket and that Polaroid style. Now I'm adding the Simple Stories 3x3 pocket page protectors. My photos are going to go in that page protector, and then also, and here off camera I stitched a fabric tab to the Reset Girl printables here, and I'm adding that milk tab to about 3 or 4 layers of thick cardstock, so it looks like a chipboard or a real milk tab. And I showed you that calico print that I used for the fabric tabs. It's got the blue background there. There it is in the shot. And I get the idea that I want to collage. Now, this idea came from Pink Paper Peppermints. She does like a scrap collage on some envelopes. And so I got the idea that I want to do this on a tag and then add my photo over it. And this is a little tiny piece of fabric that I just want to adhere on the tag. And I'm using some baker's twine to thread it through that coat check ephemera. And you can see where I'm adding everything with a tiny bit of adhesive in the center of each little punched piece, and that fabric tab gets a little bit of adhesive in the center. I'm going to be zigzag stitching with pink ombre thread around the perimeter of all of these collage pieces. So you'll notice I realize I need to punch the top of that tab with my We Are Memory Keepers angle punch. So I'm trying to show you it's sped up about 8 times so you can see the tag shape. So I also punched the collage pieces so that they would fit. And you can see the photo that I'm going to add, that little map piece. And now I'll go off camera and add all the zigzag stitching once I get everything lined up. Now everything's stitched and I like how it looks on the back, so I'm going to leave that stitching. And then I created the We Are Memory Keepers hole reinforcer punch. I add the reinforcer first, and then once that dries, I go back and punch the hole. And I'm going to add some baker's twine once I punch out the middle there with my crocodile. So I like the pink and white baker's twine just because pink is the accent color. There's mostly lots of aqua, and there's lots of maybe a neutral like the mustard and the cream and white, and then the pink is my accent color. Here I'm once again using that red line sticky tape to adhere the photo over the stitching, just because when you go to adhere things over stitching it doesn't really adhere very easily. So the red line sticky tape will keep it on there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of mixed media to this adventure log crepe paper oasis paper. I'm just using acrylic block and the Distress Stain Dauber from Tim Holtz. Now I'm going to a Vicky Bouton watercolor marker and adding some more splatters in a darker pink just so it coordinates with the pinks on my pages. I'm just using the acrylic block to create those splatters, and I like the randomness that adds. And the fabric tab will give you a place so that you know you can turn this little adventure log piece, because it's not the same width as the 6x8 papers there. Now I'm adding that milk tab over the stitching on the fabric tab and adding back my cluster of embellishments at the top right on the background page. There are my 2 3x3 photos, one of the outside of the antique mall and then one of my vintage finds. And so those are going in the pocket, and then I'm going to use a 3-inch doily, and I have to figure out what I'm going to put in the top pocket, but I know that I want to use this Maggie Holmes Flourish Puffy sticker embellishment, and I'm probably going to add that to that top right cluster just to balance with the large floral print paper on the left. So here you'll see how I will add the Reset Girl layering stickers there in the center of that Sunburst punch from Martha Stewart, just to give a little bit of embellishment to the outside. Sometimes when I'm using pockets, I also like to add stuff to the outside of the pockets. I was on the Project Life creative team for 2016, and I learned that I really like to use these pocket pages, but I also like to add dimensional embellishments to the outside of the pocket pages. And those are acid-free and archival. Now this is the Maggie Holmes Gather Project Life kit, and I'm using this ticket paper because it has all the colors. Oops, that was a little bumpy. I was trying to zoom in for you guys there so you can see what I'm doing on this pocket page. So you'll see that that ticket paper is going to be the background inside the pocket, and then I'm adding this word strip from the Reset Girl Wanna-Craft collection, and I'm going to stitch over that with the ombre thread. I'm deciding which photo I want to put in the top pocket, and I'm going to also write, it says discover, and then I'm going to hand journal how fun it is to search for vintage and antique finds with Mom and hubby. So we had a really fun day, and I want to make sure that I make a note of the cherished and treasured moments we had together with my cherished and treasured family. So this has been stitched off camera, and I really like the fact that this Flourish paper and Crepe Paper Oasis paper go with the Reset Girl kit. And you can see I finished the stitching there, and then I'm trying to decide, should I adhere that to the photo? Yeah, I probably should, because it'll still move around. So the photo creates a mat for the ticket paper from Maggie Holmes. I'll move that background back off to the left so you guys can see what I'm doing better. And because I'm adhering to the outside of the pocket, I'm going to use, once again, the red line sticky tape because it's super sticky. And it's not going to allow that embellishment to fall off. So now we see how that photo flip pocket is going to look. I like the different sizes we have going here. So we have the 3x3, and then I'm also using red line sticky tape to adhere the embellishments to the top right section here. Just because I have a tab that's going to hang off a little bit, I want to make sure that's not going anywhere. I'm using my basic gray rub-on tool to burnish that. And now you can see I'll do my hand lettering and my journaling on this big huge adventure log sheet so that I'm sure I have enough space for all the journaling I want to do. I'm going to list the shops we went to and just everything about this day. There's the Reset Girl Camp Wanna Craft layering stickers. I'm going to add one there just because I like the circular element. I have the doily that has the circular element, and then I have that layering sticker that we're putting here with this little cluster. And I like the fabric tab and the baker's twine because that adds a lot of interest. And then that Maggie Holmes Flourish floral goes beneath that cluster. So here I'm just flipping everything back and forth so I can be sure I like how everything's going here. Now I'm going to start my journaling, and it's pretty much going to take up this whole page. And I've sped this up about 8 times so you guys don't have to watch me journal really slow and figure out what I want to say. I'm putting the date, and then I'm also trying to remember everything that we bought. I kept going over and sneaking. When my mom would say that she loved something, I would sneak back over and take the stuff that she loved and put it on the counter so that we could buy it. And she caught on pretty fast. She was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." So I'm going to journal about that. I love remembering all these fun times that we had together as a family. And then we stopped at Fort Smith Coffee, and then we headed to the next vintage market, which is called Bellstar Antiques. So if you're in the area of Fort Smith, they have really great antique markets there. And then I'm going to do some more hand lettering with the Keller Creates pin here. I wrote antique shopping with the brush marker, and then I'm going to finish journaling just to break up that long, it would be a lot of handwritten journaling with that dark pen, so I thought I could break it up with the brush lettering in between. Kind of like you would highlight some words in a different color. So here we're going to finish out all of the journaling and add the date at the bottom, and then we'll go about constructing the rest of the back of that photo pocket. So here I'm just going to show you how everything is going to look once I adhere that milk tab and the photo pocket, how that looks. And I have to add here, I've gone off camera and stitched with the pink ombre thread that cluster of embellishments, and there's the photo collaged tag I'm putting back in the pocket. And here is my second 3x3 photo. This is my Grandma Madge, and her homemade apple dumplings she made for us at the end of this day. That was a great day. So I'm so thankful that I got to journal about this special day and about Grandma bringing over her apple dumplings. Thanks for joining me. I loved having you with this junk journal with me #1, and I have some still shots and links in the description box below. Thanks so much for joining me. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye!